for 8th Standard. Let me start a new prose, that is Anandi Gopal and autobiography. Given below, take your reader and just see. Given below are the names of some of the Indian women who are considered great because of their service to India. Identify them and match them with their description. The fierce patriot who first unfurled India's flag at an international assembly, Madam Kama. Young Margaret Noble came under the spell of Swami Vivekananda. She came from distant Ireland to India to serve the people of this land. Aruna Asif Ali. Jawaharlal Nehru's sister entered the non-cooperation movement. She was the first woman in India to hold a ministerial rank. Indira Gandhi. Born in a Bengali family, graduated and worked as a teacher. She was an active member of the Congress party. Sister Nivedita. She was undoubtedly one of the greatest political leaders of India. She was the first and the only woman to be elected as the Prime Minister, Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Next. An autobiography is the story of a person's life written by the person himself, while a biography is the story of a person's life written by somebody else. Now, we will read the autobiography of Anandi Gopal, the first Indian woman to receive education abroad and to obtain a medical degree. How did she achieve this? What were the obstacles faced by her? What made her desire to become a doctor? Read her autobiography to get answers to these questions. So, let us go through about Anandi's autobiography. You know what is the meaning of autobiography? Autobiography is one's own life story. Autobiography means if I am writing my own story, so that book we call it as autobiography, and biography is someone else's life story. So in case if I am writing somebody's story, life story, then that book we call it as a biography. Okay? Now let us see. Anandi Gopal, a Brahmin girl, the first Indian woman to study abroad and obtain a medical degree. So, who is the first woman here? It is Anandi Gopal. So, she was the first lady, that is Indian woman, where she went to abroad to finish her medical degree. She finished her medical degree in abroad. Who is that? First Indian woman, Anandi Gopal. Anandi was born 31st March 1865. So she was born in March 31st, 1865. 1865 in Kalyan, a small town near Mumbai, to a very rich family who were landlords in the town but in course of time had lost their riches. Here, this Anandi Gopal's parents, they were very rich. They were having land, they were the landlords of the town, but in course they were having lot of own houses, and they have lost all this in a short period. She got married at a young age of 9 and her name was changed to Anandi. So, at very young age she got married and she changed her name to Anandi. Before her marriage, she could hardly read Marathi, but her husband Gopal Rao was ardent supporter of widow remarriage and women's education. So, when she got married, means before her marriage, she could hardly, before her marriage to Anandi Gopal, she used to read Marathi, but after her husband Gopal Rao was ardent supporter, means he was a supporter, who Anandi's husband was a supporter for what? For women's education and widow remarriage. Her husband started teaching her. In the beginning, her husband tried to enroll her in the missionary schools, which did not work out. So, where did she work? In the missionary school. This was being engaged to her by her husband. Her husband insisted that she should acquire higher education. So what was the husband's aim and ambition that she has to acquire higher education, means she has to complete higher education. In those days, female doctors were not available, because why did his husband got that ambition and why he wants her to complete her degree? In those days, there were no female doctors. So she decided to become a doctor, and such she has decided herself that she has to become a doctor. Her husband tried very hard to get her admitted to some university in America. So very hard enough they tried that she has to get her admission in America. Mrs. Carpenter of Russell, New Jersey, by chance came to know her story. So this person came to know her story. Moved by the correspondence, wrote her a letter. So this correspondence wrote a letter. She offered to host her in USA. Means she got a place in USA. Since Gopal Rao was not able to get a job there, she got a place over there. But Anandi's husband did not get the job and place in America. She decided to live alone. So as such what she has to do, she decided to stay alone with her husband because he did not get any job over there. After many trials and tribulations, she reached America to meet Carpenter Mawashi, means her aunt. So after a great many trials and tribulations, she reached America to meet Carpenter Mawashi, that is her auntie. Mr. Carpenter, Mrs. Carpenter Mawashi took care of her like her own daughter. So she has been taken care by her aunt very nicely. Anandi joined a women's college in Philadelphia. After that, what Anandi did, she joined a college in Philadelphia. The superintendent and the secretary of the college were very kind. So both the persons were very kind to her, to Anandi. They were very kind and honest and good to this woman. They offered her a scholarship of $600 for 3 years. So she got a scholarship there for how much? 3 years, 600 in that country money. She suffered ill health, having a constant temperature and cough. As she was taken up her studies, so suddenly she was suffering with cough and temperature. Later her condition worsened and somehow she scrapped through the final exam. So after that her condition was, later on her condition was little bit worse only. Then too she completed her final exam. At the convocation where her husband was present, it was announced that she was the first woman doctor of India and got a standing ovation. You see, she was the first doctor in India, that too female. See what the husband, so his ambition has been taken up there. See how when he has trained his wife there. So well, no, so very lucky to have like that. Okay. So because in ancient days and all, what the people used to do, even the parents, their husbands, the relatives, they never allow the female to go out and learn, to go out for the schools and colleges, and also they doesn't want to work. So like that, many hazards, there are many problems the female has to face. In spite of that, see, she has gone to America and completed her degree, and there she was the first woman doctor of India, where she was standing there. It was the most rewarding moments of her life. See what a moment that was, no, that particular time. Her husband admitted her to women's hospital in Philadelphia. So she was admitted in Philadelphia. She was diagnosed as having tuberculosis. Because as such, after all this, what happened there? She was having lot of fever, cough, all this. So husband, what he did do, he took her and admitted in the Philadelphia hospital. After that, a test was taken to her, and then they came to know that she is suffering from tuberculosis. That is TB, they say, no, that. The disease hadn't reached her lungs. So the disease hadn't reached her lungs. So the till the lungs it is not yet reached. So the doctors advised her to move back to India. So what the doctors told? The docters told her to go back to India immediately. Finally, on February 26, 1887, frustrated all her achievements were in vain. So Anandi succumbed to her disease at the age of 22. See, at the age of 22 only she was having a problem in her health. She was mourned throughout India. Her ashes were sent to Mrs. Carpenter, who wanted to place them in her family cemetery in, say, at last she has been dead in the age of 22 itself. So throughout India she has been mourned, means the India people mourned for her. Her ashes sent to Mrs. Carpenter, who wanted to place them in family cemetery in Fortescue. Anandi Bhai's efforts, however, were not in vain. To this day, she is an inspiration to Indian girls from all walks of life. So she is admired there, and also she is one of the inspiration to all the Indian women over there, because she has taken up a great decision and completed her ambition. So till here, this is the lesson of Anandi Gopal and autobiography. Complete here. It is end of this lesson. So I will send the notes for you. See that you copy it in the classwork and bring it for the correction. Okay, thank you children.